Hey, I'm Isaac. Hi, I'm Josh.
Hey, I'm Sam, and my brothers and I want to check out what it's like being in the forces.
The Defence Forces defend our country, protect our resources, and are a war-fighting organisation that uses some of the most advanced technologies in the world. From $600 million warships utilising complex weapon systems to the fastest communication network in the country. Josh, Sam and Isaac will handle technology that isn't seen in the civilian world. Life in the Defence Forces can be exciting and challenging. There are opportunities to work all over the world with deployments in the freezing Antarctic, scorching deserts, or humid tropical jungles. But not everyone has what it takes. So the first step is to apply online at defencecareers.mil.nz. In the Forces, there are over 100 different careers available, and in this episode we will look specifically at technician roles in the Army, Air Force and Navy.
Morning, I'm Isaac.
Morning, Isaac. JJ Laborn, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Master! Quick! March!
Isaac is at Devonport Naval Base to check out what it's like to be a Marine technician. But first, he has to make it past basic training.
Basic branch training, the 14 weeks of training, it's all about teaching conformity, discipline, kit maintenance, all those things that people just have no idea about.
Personally, I do a lot of rowing. Would that help in the Navy?
Absolutely, yeah, it's great. I mean, rowing again is that core strength that we look for in people, but it's also the discipline side of rowing that I like.
Yes.
These trainees are up at 5:30 every morning.
Leader. Morning, sir.
Yeah. Meet Isaac. I'd like for you to
morning, Isaac.
take him away and give him a bit of drill this morning.
Okay, then. Brace up. Then right. Squad! Ho! 8 short, sharp movements, Isaac. Head on eyes to the right. To the right. The other right, yes. Take charge of the weapon. Don't let the weapon take charge of you. Head on eyes to the front, chins up, Isaac. Get your chin up. Wipe that smile off your face. Put your zip up. Have some pride in your appearance.
They've got to fully understand that they're going to be joining a fully disciplined service, that we have high expectations of these young people when they're going to join. There's a lot for them to learn. The discipline side of it's very strong, physical side of it's very strong. But they also, prior to joining, they need to know what they want to join, what service and what trade they want to be in.
What did I tell you about your zip? Got to have some pride in appearance. I'm not your mother. What? This! 2, 3, move!
Oh, that was pretty scary. Yeah. Had to be pretty serious. No mucking around. It's all part of learning, I guess. So, yeah, it was good. It was good fun.
To get to know what it takes to be a Marine technician, Isaac is paired up with able Marine technician Stephen Williams, who works on the HMNZS Otago.
Morning, sir. This is Isaac. He's here to take a look around the ship. He wants to experience life in the Navy.
Good morning, Isaac. I'm Commander Dave McEwen. Welcome on board HMS Otago.
Thank you.
Would you like to have a look around?
Indeed.
So, Isaac, Otago's in quite an extended and intense period of maintenance. It involves a lot of work in pulling apart the ship, putting in new capability, getting us prepared to go back to sea, which in fact we'll do in about 10 days' time.
So how do Marine technicians fit into the operation of the ship?
They keep the engines and generators going. But when it comes to the Marine technicians, I have nothing but admiration. They are critical to the way the ship operates.
So what's involved in a general day-to-day role?
Day-to-day basis, it can be a large range of things. You know, we're responsible for fixing, say, this air conditioning unit here. The lighting circuits, that door, if the hinges came loose, we'd be the ones to fix that. So, yeah, we cover a vast range of things. Now, this is the MCR. This is the main control room. It's really the heart of the ship as far as the technical side of things go. From here, we can sort of control and monitor most of the machinery on board the ship. We've also got the switchboard. That's how we sort of control all of our power distribution.
So, how do you know when to maintain it? Like, when do you do it?
We have a process called FIMS. So on here we have a list of most of the machinery on board. When maintenance is due on a job will come up and trigger like this one here. This is an engine room supply fan. So I'll just print off the job ticket and then we'll go get stuck into it.
Sounds good.
My job's sort of my dream job. I get to pull stuff to bits every day, all day, fix stuff, and I get to travel and I get paid for it, so it's great. Yeah.
Air comes in through those vents and gets pushed down through here, creating a positive pressure in the engine room.
Yep.
First thing we're going to test is to make sure that all the phases are dead and we're not going to get an electric shock.
Yeah.
Because it's 440 volts and it should fry you. And then we're going to test the insulation between the windings.
Yeah.
Multimeter. Multimeter's what we need.
What's the benefits about getting trained in the Navy?
It's getting to work with really cool equipment. We get some really cool stuff. One of the coolest things about training with the Royal New Zealand Navy is you get to work with such awesome ships, and it's just something that you wouldn't get to do in a civilian environment. You don't get to play with the cool stuff that we get to play with. Land helicopters on the deck, every other day, and you don't come across a ship with a gas turbine strapped to the centre of it, and they definitely don't have 6-inch cannons strapped on the front of them. We're just taking off the phasing so that we can test inside the motor to make sure that none of the windings have corroded and are leaking voltage, if you like, to the ship's hull. It makes it dangerous. This whole outside housing could be electrified, so if somebody was to touch it, they'd get a zap. Shit. So as you can see, this terminal's just broken off on me, because when it was done up last, it was done up too tight, so this bolt has been cracked.
The whole bolt's just broken.
Yeah,
Have to replace that one.
Yeah, we'll definitely be replacing that one. It's sort of, one of the key things that we're looking for when we're doing this routine maintenance, If that had happened to have popped off, while we're at sea, it would cause a drop in pressure in the compartment, which can actually cause the main engines to blow seals out.
Okay.
So,
from one little snap
from
bolt
one little tiny
it.
snap bolt like that, it can affect so many other systems and, create huge faults throughout the ship.
Well, it's good you picked it up then today.
Absolutely.
Luckily, this near miss is easy to fix.
All right, Isaac, so now that we got that all back together and fixed that fault, we'll go and test it, make sure it is working. Get out of here.
While testing the extraction fan, Stephen gets caught up in a situation that will test the entire crew's ability.
It's fire.
One Charlie Zulu 1, officers insinuate laundry.
Get that phone. 1 Charlie Zulu 1 laundry, smoke, and 1 Charlie Zulu 1 laundry. Fire pump running?
Fire pump's running, ma'am.
Fire pump is running. Located in 1 Delta passage.
Electrical isolations have been made, ma'am.
For exercise, for exercise, for exercise. Fire, 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 fire.
Training exercises like this happen every day. All marine technicians are trained as firefighters, and all crew on board train for every possible emergency, like flooding, toxic gas leak, right up to abandoning ship.
On a day-to-day basis, we'd do at least one of these exercises a day.
Casualty, 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 casualty in 1 Delta passageway.
Do these exercises, we obviously train as if it was a real situation, so even though it's an exercise, it's still an instant rush of adrenaline, and you're there and you get your suit on and you're running down hallways and stuff like that, and it's quite a thrill. I quite enjoy it personally.
The aims of today's exercise have been met, therefore end of exercise, end of exercise, end of exercise. Return and stow all gear. There will be a debrief for all personnel involved in today's exercise at the scene in 05 minutes time.
So as you can see, it simulates quite a realistic fire. Shut that door, sorry. Yeah, come through. Got to prevent the smoke from spreading around the compartments. So Isaac, now we're going to head up to Ordinary Marine Technician Wood's promotion. He's getting promoted from an ordinary rate to an able rate.
Marine Technician Wood's promotion gives him deserved recognition in front of the ship's company.
Ship's company, stand at base!
For me, being in the Royal New Zealand Navy, I get a good sense of pride. You really feel like you're actually doing something. You're making a difference and you're serving your country, and New Zealand's people are grateful for it, so you get told that everywhere that you go. For example, when I was in Christchurch for the Christchurch disaster relief, we had church groups bringing around cakes and biscuits and stuff at sort of 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know, just seeing stuff like that, it's really cool. So as you can see, us marine technicians, we keep the whole ship going. Some of the most advanced, biggest sort of Navy equipment in New Zealand. Without us, the ship doesn't sail.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Steve. I enjoyed it.
Isaac's very inquisitive. He's got a keen eye, asks lots of questions. He's obviously got a very keen sort of interest in the Navy and the technical side of things. Yeah, hope to see him here in the future.
To be a Marine Technician in the Navy, you must be 17 years or older, medically fit for service, of good character, a New Zealand citizen, and have completed at least 3 years at secondary school. Upon enlistment, you will complete a 13-week basic military training course. The Navy meets all costs of job training, training is concluded in the first 4 years of a marine technician's career. Sam and his triplet brothers are checking out what life is like in the New Zealand Defence Forces. And today, Sam is at Burnham Army Camp.
How's it going? I'm Sam.
Yeah, morning Sam. I'm Lance Corporal Andy Leslie. I understand you want to find out what it's like to be an electronics technician in the Army.
That's correct, yeah.
First up, we're going to start with some physical training.
All right.
Chuck this on and we'll go.
Cheers.
Turn, charge, right, turn, double, march.
So the aim, guys, is to slap your partner in the face. They're also aiming to slap you. You're aiming to not get slapped. Stand by. Go. Eddie, up here. Back in your straight line.
The nature of what they're doing now, it's quite repetitive. So it's testing their mental toughness, it's testing their mental resolve to be able to just keep going regardless of the fact that their bodies are screaming and hurting, and they've got oxygen deficit in their muscles and lactic acid build up. Like their bodies will be hurting right now, and you can tell the ones that are sort of letting it get to them and the ones that are just pushing through. So Sam, he's probably got a good level of base fitness because his mental toughness might not be the same as what these lads are working to. Sam's finding it quite hard today.
How do you think that went, Sam?
Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty tired, but no, it's pretty way different than what you think. Like you look from the outside and you think like, yeah, I can join the army, I can run far, but no, it's way different to actually doing it and doing the combat, I suppose, and
maybe a little bit.
After 16 weeks of basic training, the specialist training as an electronics technician begins.
So tell me, what does an electronics technician involve?
Electronics technicians play an important part in the Army. We maintain and repair all the Army's electronic and optical systems.
Oh, okay. So the soldering side, what does that involve?
Yeah, everyone in the Army is a soldier first. That's what the 3 months of basic training prepares us for. Everybody from a cook to an electronics technician can pick up a rifle and fight on the front line.
Oh, okay.
This is a New Zealand light armoured vehicle, and today you're going to be working on it.
Oh, wow.
But first up, let's get a real feel for it. We're going to take it for a drive.
Sweet.
The light armoured vehicle is a $3 million war machine that, like other military equipment, uses state-of-the-art weaponry, military-grade communication devices, and classified optic systems. Andy is trained to keep them all battle-ready.
We get to work on multi-million-dollar vehicle, state-of-the-art equipment. The military is right on the front line with developing technologies, and you'll see a world of equipment that you'll never see as a civilian.
Wow. Tell me, whereabouts is this job taking you?
I've been all over New Zealand on different exercises, also some exercises in Australia. I spent most of last year on deployment in Afghanistan, so there's a world of opportunity out there.
That was awesome. It was pretty technical in there. A lot of electronics, a lot of different buttons and bits and pieces. Like the radio is pretty technical even. So that was great, but you can see why it's a huge technical side to it. So it was great.
Now it's time for Sam's first job of the day.
This light armoured vehicle has a fault in the turret and it's not powering up. We're going to grab a multimeter, start working our way through the cable. Obviously we should have a voltage at the batteries. We're going to follow that voltage along the cable and hopefully we'll pick up where the fault is. You can see the black box there, that's got our batteries in it.
Yep.
If you want to go ahead and open that up, just flick those yellow levers up and take off the white shield. Terminal on the left and the other probe on the next terminal on the left. It needs to be 24 volts or above.
Oh, okay.
So that's not our problem. So we'll look at our diagram and move on. The next thing along is to check our main circuit breaker.
All right.
Just push that all the way in with your thumb, make sure it's secure.
It's good.
Okay, that should be all right. Checked our main circuit breaker. We're going to follow this cable along and into the slip ring. Grab your meter again. Pull that cable there off. Yep, that's 24 volts. So our fault's not there, we need to carry on. Find the connection J4 and measure the voltage. Does that feel all right?
No, it's quite loose.
That's quite a common problem, so we'll do that up securely and check for our fault again. Go ahead and jump in the gunner's seat. How does that look?
All power's working.
Excellent. Looks like we've found our fault.
Awesome. In here, it's all the wires are so bunched up and so nested together, but on here it's so simple.
Yep, and that's why we have a circuit diagram. It clearly lays out all the systems in the vehicle, where everything goes and how the wires are connected.
Now armed with knowledge of electronic circuits, Sam helps repair a laser warning system.
Our laser warning system is a pretty important part of the vehicle. Lets us know if someone's firing a laser target designator at us, like they're about to launch a missile. Firing now.
No, last one doesn't work. For you, what's it like to be part of the New Zealand Army?
There's a sense of satisfaction belonging to the Defence Force, helping people in situations like Christchurch earthquake, to defending New Zealand and supporting peacekeeping operations overseas. It's a good feeling.
A test confirms the fix.
Yep, they all seem to be working, Andy.
Looks like we've fixed the problem and our job here is done.
But the day isn't done yet. A call comes in about a problem with a light armoured vehicle on exercise in the field.
I understand you got a few problems with your wagon.
Yeah, gunner was traversing before and then a turret just stopped on us. No idea what was going on there.
All right.
Commander's hand controller still works.
Yep.
Andy needs to get this vehicle operational as soon as possible because it's providing transport and support for troops engaged in a riot suppression exercise.
The most likely cause is probably going to be this joystick.
Military vehicles are designed with replaceable parts so that in heated situations like this...
Maybe working.
No, it looks like it's still a problem.
Technicians can fix faults under fire.
We've replaced our control box. The turret's working fine now. Okay. So it looks like that was our problem after all.
Now the LAV can offer essential support for the riot suppression.
How do you find being an electronics technician in the Army?
I found that being in the Army is not only just about being an electronics technician, but a lot of physical parts to it and aspects to it. But an Army way of life would be a great way of life. So.
Excellent. Hey, great work, Sam.
Hey, thanks very much.
Thanks.
To become an electronics technician in the Army, you must be 17 years or older, medically fit for service, of good character, and be a New Zealand citizen. You must have completed Year 12 at secondary school with a proven ability in maths, English, and physics. Upon successful enlistment into the Army, you'll be posted to Waiouru Army Base, where you will do a 16-week basic military training course. The Army pay for all training towards your national diploma in engineering. Josh and his triplet brothers are experiencing what life is like in the New Zealand Defence Forces. And today, Josh is at Whenuapai Air Base to get a taste of life as an avionics technician.
How you going?
I'm Josh.
G'day, Josh. Sergeant Brad Murray, Air Force. Here you want to be avionics technician?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, let's check it out.
Yeah, sweet. Come along. So we better make sure you're operationally fit to join the Air Force. How's your press-ups?
Oh, pretty good. I can make out about 100.
100 press-ups? Well, your minimum requirement will be 30 press-ups.
1, 2, lovely. 3.
Every person in the Air Force must pass a physical test every 6 months. If they continually fail, they risk being discharged.
29. Good stuff. Hard worker.
Oh, man, that's hard.
Josh, you didn't quite make 100 that you promised us. What happened?
A bit more practice before then.
Oh, yeah?
For sure.
Doing those 100 baby press-ups.
Next is the weighted march, where a weighted belt represents a 20-kilogram infantry combat kit. It would include weapons, ammunition, and survival gear.
7.
Good work. Well done.
Whew. Man, sore calf muscles, eh? Oh.
20 kilos on your little frame's got to hurt.
Brad, so what does an avionics technician actually do in the Air Force?
Oh, we maintain and repair all the aviation electronics, and it helps keep all these aircraft in the air.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is a great example of where an avionics technician will spend most of his time. This is the nose of a Sea Sprite helicopter. We've got all our compass electronics over here, our main aircraft battery, and this is our infrared camera control up here.
Brad's job is to support the aircrew on the flight line by dealing with electronic faults. pilot Pete Barron and flight engineer Robin Claffey report a fault on a C-130 Hercules.
Just had the autopilot disengage on the climb out. We kicked out and we had the elevator servo fail appear on the scratch pad.
Brad, this aircraft's needed again at 7:30 tonight for the task.
Sweet, cool. We'll get onto it.
Time pressure is a common part of being an avionics technician, as is knowing the aircraft.
Wow, far out. This is the cockpit of our new upgraded Hercules. So all this equipment that you see in here is avionics toys, pretty much. This is what we play with. And a lot of the stuff that you won't see in any of the new commercial airliners and stuff like that. So we get to play with a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't get to touch. We've gone into the equipment history, and it brings up every fault. So if we look in here, it's got auto flight computer, processor, elevator, servo, no-go. That just confirms with what they saw. We can actually perform a test from here on that elevator servo. So there we go, test complete, test pass.
The test should have failed, not passed.
Hey Kev, you got a minute?
Avionics technician Kevin Murray recently did work on this aircraft, so Brad investigates further.
Yeah, they had that fault last week. Pretty sure they changed the elevator servo, so just might want to try something else.
Cool, cheers.
So it wasn't the elevation servo, but Brad has another idea.
What's next? Well, we're going to take this computer out and we'll take it over to the bay for bench testing.
Oh, sweet, let's go. Hey Brad, so if the auto flight computer is faulty, what are the dangers of that?
Well, autopilot in the plane is there to reduce fatigue in pilots, and pilot fatigue is one of the major causes of airplane crashes, so it's pretty important.
Yeah, for sure.
There are two types of avionics technician. Technicians like Brad, who work in the flight line, and bay technicians like Leith, based in the workshop.
Hey Brad. How you going? Hey,
Brad needs Leith to do a bay functional test to identify the fault.
The functional test is passed.
Well, now what?
Brad needs to brainstorm this problem with avionics Sergeant Dave McHugh.
It's testing perfectly on the rig.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the aircraft doing at the time?
They were climbing, they were in a climb.
Because obviously the servo, it's going to take more pressure if the rate of climb's higher.
Yep.
So that could be a problem. Would the simulator be able to check this out for you?
That's a possibility. I can get the pilot and he can replicate all the flight conditions, and we'll see if we can fault the computer then. For complicated issues like this, we're able to call on the whole avionics trade using their experience and knowledge to help us solve the problem. So we're not just on our own.
The flight simulator can be used to test equipment by replicating dynamic real-world conditions.
It kicked itself out through 1,500. So it's come up through 1,500 feet per minute as before. It's come up with elevator servo fail. Yeah, so that was the fault that we saw.
And that just confirms that the fault lies within that computer as we suspected it would.
So what kind of person's good for this job?
You need to be pretty smart. There's pretty technical kind of stuff going on. And
so what are some of the rewards of this job?
Definitely a big reward for, especially someone in my position, is going away on trips and on the planes with a lot of the crew as well. I mean, they've got to take maintenance teams away with them. I've only just come back from Alexandria. I've been to Antarctica, been to Canada, through the States, around all the islands, Australia, Asia, through the Middle East and through to the UK. So it's not only the pilots that get to travel around the world, the maintenance crew do as well.
While Brad has been at the simulator, Sergeant Dave McHugh did some research of his own and found a possible solution.
Hey, Brad.
Dave, got something for us?
Yeah, spoken to manufacturer. They've got a paper on this for adding a capacitor to the gyro main board.
Okay. This is our solder bench. We're going to do exactly what the manufacturers said for us to do, is replace the capacitor with a higher value one. So.
What are the challenges of this job?
Yeah, definitely time pressure, getting a serviceable aircraft to the aircrew on time. Yeah, speaking of time pressures, Josh, we better get this board back in the aircraft.
But to confirm that the fault has been fixed, Brad needs to test it in an actual flight.
G'day, sir. Hey, plane's all good. We didn't change the elevator servo. We've changed the computer itself. One of the more enjoyable aspects of being an avionics tech is you'll get a problem that is pretty complicated and it can't be seen. It has to be thought about. Sometimes they're not hard there. You won't see a broken cable, or you won't see a dent in the leading edge or something like that. They have to be thought about. It's inside a box and it's electrons which aren't seen. How'd that go?
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, no, it stayed connected the whole time.
Well done.
Just goes to show how important your guys' job is. Without you guys, you know, these planes wouldn't stay in the sky.
To be an avionics technician, you must be at least 17 years old, medically fit for service, be of good character, and be a New Zealand citizen. You need a minimum of 12 NCEA credits in maths, English, and science at level 2 or above. Upon enlistment, you will complete a 12-week basic military training course and a 17-week aeronautical engineering course. The Air Force pays for all cost of job training. Triplets Sam, Isaac, and Josh have had a taste of 3 different careers within New Zealand's Defence Forces. So, what do they think?
See why people join the forces, because they pay for education and there's a lot of training to upskill.
The chance to develop leadership and time management skills. A few travel opportunities and also using state-of-the-art technology.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.